Hello everyone, my name is Kyle Miller. Today I'm going to be talking about investment casting. So investment casting, also known as lost wax casting, is a manufacturing process used to create complex metal parts. In this method, a model of the object is to be casted, made from a material like wax, which is then coated with a refractory material to create a mold. After the mold hardens, the wax is melted and drained away, leaving a hollow mold in the shape of the desired part. Metal is then poured into the mold to create the final product. This process is known for its high accuracy, fine surface finishes, and the ability to produce complex geometries that are difficult or impossible to achieve with other methods. Now this is a flowchart. This shows the 7 main steps, which is wax injections, pattern assembly, shell making, dewaxing by heating, pouring, shattering, and cutting off. So now I'm going to talk to you about the different steps. So step 1, wax injections. The first step involves creating a precise model of the part to be casted. This is done using wax. It can be easily molded and shaped. The wax patterns can be created through injection molding, as shown to the right, where molten wax is injected into a metal mold to form the desired shape. For complex designs, 3D printing technologies can also be used. Step 2 is pattern assembly. Once the individual wax patterns are created, they are assembled onto a central wax scanning system, also called a tree. This system helps to direct the molten metal into the mold cavities. The wax patterns are attached in a way that maximizes the mold's efficiency to handle the flow of molten metal. Step 3 is shell making. Here's a photo to the left. The wax patterns, or wax tree, are dipped into the refractory slurry made of a mixture of silica sand, a binder of some sort, and water. The coating is applied multiple times to build a very thick ceramic shell around the wax patterns. After each dip, the coating is allowed to dry and harden before the next layer is applied. The thickness of the shell depends on the required strength of the mold. Step 4 is dewaxing. Once your mold has cured, which takes between 16 to 48 hours, you'll start your dewaxing process, which is the removal of the wax. The entire mold with the wax inside is heated in an autoclave oven. As the temperatures increase, the wax inside the mold melts and drains out the bottom. As you can see in this video, you'll see the heaters heating it up, and you'll see the wax draining right out of the bottom of that tree. That's also why the process is sometimes called lost wax casting. Step 5 is pouring. Once the mold is prepared, molten metal, typically steel, aluminum, or brass, is poured into the mold cavity. As you can see to the picture to the left, this is what it'll look like. The metal is heated to a temperature above its melting point and then poured under gravity or pressure into the hollow mold. The mold must be able to withstand the heat of the molten metal without cracking. The next step is shattering. Once the casting is cooled and solidified, the ceramic shell is broken away. This is usually done by mechanical methods such as sandblasting or vibrations. The casting is then cleaned of any remains or debris or shell fragments. In this photo to the left, you'll actually see that it's been broken away by vibrations. It's sitting on a vibrating platform, and you'll see all of the shell just vibrating away. All right, the final step is cutting off, trimming, and machining. After the shell is removed, the casting may have additional material, or gates, that are part of the wax tree. These are trimmed or machined off, and the casting is then polished and finished according to the final specifications. Additional machining or surface treatments may be performed. You may have to sand it down, grind a little something off of it, anything like that. But you're going to do this until you achieve the desired level of precision and surface quality needed to meet the specifications. Key pieces of industrial equipment used. You're going to use wax pattern making equipment, a ceramic slurring mixing system, a ceramic shell forming machine, a burnout furnace, a pouring furnace, and a finishing station. This being said, the average price to start up a business is $500,000. That may sound like a lot, but if you look at the facts, the long run savings, you're saving 45% just in unit cost, as well on 40% in reduction in lead time. If you ask me, it's worth taking a look into. Here are some materials used during the process. So the materials vary from ceramics, which are made of aluminum, alumina, to metals, brass, bronze, copper, steel, and gold. All the way over to waxes, which you can have runner wax and or filled pattern wax. Now, that being said, this will make some pretty cool items. You can have turbine blades made, which they actually form in the ground, and they are some of the biggest investment casting products. You can have a medical equipment, firearm components, gears, jewelry, which is a big product, golf club heads, and many other machine components with complex geometry. So here's a short 3-minute video, which is going to give you a clear insight to what the process looks like. So during that video, you saw all 7 of the steps I described earlier in the investment casting process. I wanted to point out a major fact that they used the shell making process 10 times. That's how thick they wanted their shell when they used their molten metal. They didn't want it cracking or anything else like that. And they recycle all of their wax. That is pretty unique, if you ask me. Now I want to talk about the companies that use that process here near us. Doncasters, which is actually out of Oxford. is the leading manufacturer of vacuum and air melting investment castings in nickel and cobalt-based superalloys. There's the Precision Castings, which they're in Tennessee, not too far down the road. They actually claim to excel in all elements of the investment casting. PCC, which is Precision Cast Parts Corporated. They are the world's largest diameter investment casting. They do a lot of big products. And then Barron Industries. They assemble in both ferrous and non-ferrous alloys, which basically just means they use, iron parts and parts not containing iron. So there are many advantages to using investment casting. Investment casting is ideal for producing parts that will be highly loaded. They'll be subjected to high temperatures and pressures or require precise geometry that minimizes secondary operations. This is especially true when the alloys used are expensive and hard to machine. Here are some interesting facts. These aren't really important. These are more or less just to take home with you. Investment castings are the most versatile metal forming methods available. Keep that in mind. The basic root of this technology dates all the way back to 4,000 years ago. There is proof that it was used by the Egyptians, Chinese Yang Dynasty, Aztecs, and Benin people. The investment casting process has been used in arts by many civilizations for countless centuries before it was even thought about in the manufacturing industry. In conclusion, investment casting, or lost wax casting, whichever one you prefer, is an accurate manufacturing process used to create compound metal parts with extreme accuracy and precision. This technique involves coating a wax design with a ceramic case and then emptying molten metal into the cavity left behind. The process, advantages, applications, materials used, and the challenges faced in this investment casting are all worth it in the end. As stated before, investment casting saves 40 to 45% in cost and time. That being said, if investment casting isn't something you would want to look into for your business one day, I would be very disappointed. Investment casting, by far, is one of the top tier casting processes that you can use to save time and save money. Here are my cited sources. Y'all feel free to check them out. Look further into it if you would. That's all I got for you. Thank y'all.